Hello. So this one's kind of weird. Um so this is a really scary one. This is week 6 of the SxOC. I'm just gonna say this now because I'm not confident on my team here. I've taken probably more risks than I should have because I've just finished building it. I'm battling later today, and I've really taken a lot more risks than I probably should have, but, like, I'm really hoping they pay off. So, this is scary, honestly. Obviously, like I say, I've taken a lot of risks with my team. We're against Craw, Crawdaddy, and the Pittsburgh Pichus, and we actually played before. We actually played in GSC Season 2, I won 4-0 there, but I had to make a pretty aggressive play that basically won me the game. And even then, I think I still played kind of poorly in some of those games, in parts of that game anyway. And their team here is really scary. So they've got Garchomp, Zeraora, Corviknight, Slowking, Tangrowth, Mega Houndoom, Articuno, Ninetales, Alola, Beware, Stunfisk, and Haunter. Now, I'm just discounting Haunter entirely, to be honest. Everything else I think actually has a place. Garchomp, Zeraora, like, I didn't realize that this is apparently starting, like, this is just a common thing in draft, I don't know, but, like, Garchomp plus Fast Electric type just seems really common. I don't know why. We just got Fast Electric, like top end Electric with top end Ground just seems common. Like I've seen Lando Coco, I've seen Garchomp Coco, I've seen Garchomp Zeraora. Like I've seen a lot of these, and I didn't realize that this was actually just a thing that people really like. But yeah, so Craw has brought. You got those. Corviknight, Slowking, Tangrowth is a pain to break. Really, really pain to break. Honestly, like, kind of reminding me of Lyric's team from UBL. Where they've got Garchomp plus Fast Electric, and then a very hard to break defensive core with a regen bonus. They've got Mega Houndoom. No Sun, thankfully, but I believe Craw actually really likes Mega Houndoom as well as Alolan Ninetales. They like those mons a lot, which is why they've been brought, as much as they have, 3 games a piece. I'm expecting one. My guess would be Houndoom, because it's better at breaking things like Registeel. Whereas like Ninetales with, like, I've paid respect to, because I feel like I could just lose to Ninetales if I'm not careful. I don't think Articuno's coming. Beware, I think, could come. I'm just kind of praying it doesn't, but I have answers to it anyway. Stunfisk, I think, could come. I think this is actually a week for Stunfisk. Mainly just... So, the thing is with Craw's team is they have two defoggers, I guess. I kind of... Does Articuno actually get defog? Let me just have a look. I don't believe it does, but I probably should have checked that. I believe it doesn't. I assumed it didn't, anyway. Why? Where is it? Database. Sword and Shield Codex. Sorry, I'm just, like, doing this in another tab on Cerebi. Just cause... No, that is Corviknight. What am I doing? I want Articuno. So where's Galarian level up? Okay. Because defog is... Let me just... Why am I not just control F-ing it? Defog. It does not get defog. Okay. So yeah, the only defog is Corv. Which is why it's come to all games. So their only defogger is Corviknight, and the only rockers that they have are Garchomp and Stunfisk. If Garchomp wants to be, like, a setup chomp, or Scarf, it's, like, Stunfisk has to come, to set up rocks. So, yeah. Breaking the defense core is going to be annoying. I've paid respect to Houndoom. I've paid respect to... not set up Zeraora. Granted. But I don't think it's going to be set up, and if it is, I think I should be okay, because the only setup it is Bulk Up, and I think I have ways around it. Zeraora is kind of weird here, because it doesn't actually break Rotom Heat very well. If you notice, Rotom Heat, let's just get into this. Rotom Heat was the first thing I went with. We are Modest Max Special Attack, and the only reason why we're Modest Max Special Attack is I couldn't decide on how I wanted to have it, and the deciding factor was if they are physically offensive Slowking, Volt Switch to it kills. That's it. Play Split Will-O-Wisp, I think Rotom Heat is like a key in this matchup. It does so well against so many of their Pokemon. Will-O-Wisp is great for Garchomp switching in. It's great for Zeraora switching in if it is physical. If it's special, I have ways around it. Will-O-Wisp is great into a lot of mons. It's also great at like chipping Corviknight. Just, like, Will-O-Wisp is great on a lot of Pokemon. And obviously Volt Switch Overheat, like, Fire Electric coverage does so well against their team. So, yeah, like, I just think it does so well. Like, that's also another reason Stunfisk could come, because otherwise, like, they don't really have a lot for Rotom Heat. So, I can see them bringing Stunfisk for that reason. Just as another ground type to deal with Rotom. So, yeah. Yeah, Rotom Heat is going to be super, super pivotal. Which is why we've got the Pain Split on there, to try and keep this thing alive. So, the goal is to not let this thing die. If we don't get our initial win condition. We'll get into that a little bit later. Next up, Mudsdale. I felt the need to bring Mudsdale. We've got enough special defense to live Modest Grass Knot from Zeraora. Otherwise, Earthquake, Smackdown, Rest, and Toxic. Registeel is actually my rocker this week. I couldn't think, like, so the issue is, any defensive piece I bring, any defensive piece, Corviknight can switch into. So, it's just really awkward. So, at least Mudsdale can Smackdown against Corviknight and force it out. Otherwise, this is my dedicated Garchomp check. I don't even know the calc, I didn't even run any calcs, honestly. But because they can't Scale Shot it, I should be fine. Because they can't Scale Shot Mudsdale. They can't set up and Scale Shot on Mudsdale because of stamina. So, if it is a physical Zeraora with no Grass Knot, Mudsdale also does very well into that. But I'm starting to think they actually might be special just because of Mudsdale. I haven't brought Mudsdale much. This is only the second time I've brought Mudsdale, but I felt the need to bring Mudsdale here. Next up, we've got Vaporeon. This is Spadef Vaporeon. This is specifically for Houndoom. Pretty much nothing else. It's just for Houndoom. I'm expecting Houndoom because of Registeel. So, which protects Scald and Flip Turn. Flip Turn means, like, you know, we can take a hit and just get out. I think it's going to be pretty important to have that momentum in this matchup. So having something like Vaporeon is going to be pretty important. And Flip Turn, even with Calm, actually does break a sub on Mega Houndoom, unless it is running a lot of HP. It does like 30% min, so it's got to run a good amount of HP to actually not actually have a Flip Turn break a sub. So, there's even a temptation to run Sassy here, just to make sure that the Flip Turn breaks the sub. I'm not sure. Because actually, just getting momentum. Yeah, no, I want to make sure I'm not being Tank Growth, yeah. Never mind. So yeah, other than that, very standard Vaporeon. Aero is actually carrying Defog. We're enough speed for Zeraora with Dual Wing Beat, Earthquake, Crunch, and Defog. Defog seems like a weird one, but I actually value Rotom Heat more than Mega Aero in this matchup. So if Rotom Heat actually gets its item knocked off, and rocks are up, I am willing to sack Aero for Rotom Heat. That is how important it is here. Otherwise, this kind of was like a 6th Mon, even though Registeel honestly felt like a 6th Mon. A lot of my Pokemon didn't actually do very well here, but I've got I've got a few extremely good Pokemon in this matchup. But then like a lot of my defensive Pokemon just don't do anything because Corviknight is a pain. It's so annoying. So we've just got Arrow. Arrow can clean up in the late game, because it does outspeed everything unless they bring Scarfers. Which again, I could see Scarf Jump coming. The ground flying coverage is really good, and then Crunch is basically there for like Slowking and yeah, pretty much Slowking actually. So I'm not going to bother with Element or Fangs for Corviknight because it probably takes it really well. Corviknight's also the reason why we're not really trying to do setup Arrow either, because yeah, that doesn't work. And I also felt like if I just didn't bring Arrow, I felt like this also was really good at revenging like a lot of things. I felt like if I didn't bring Arrow, just like I felt like I don't get comfortable. So yeah, kind of bringing Arrow, just bring Arrow, honestly. Next up, Registeel. This can be any Zero Aurora. I'm not carrying EQ, which I'm kind of regretting. I kind of wish I had EQ over Protect, but at the same time, I think having a way to recover that doesn't require Vaporeon and isn't using Breast is pretty important. Stealth Rock, Iron Head, Toxic, and Protect. Honestly, this thing is mainly here so I don't lose to Ninetales. I can just see it. Like, if I didn't bring this, I would have had nothing for, like, Nasty Plot Ninetales other than Rotom Heat, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on Rotom Heat already to do a lot of things. It's there to break, it's there to take hits from Zera, it's there to switch into Scarf Chomp, like, it's there to do, and also take fire hits from Mega Houndoom if it needs to. It's there to do way too many things already that the pressure needs taking off of Rotom Heat a bit. And this just means that, like, a Alolan Ninetales isn't an issue. This is also my Rocker. Toxic is really nice for any defensive piece that isn't aimed Corviknight, because I hate Corviknight. I'm really starting to hate this stupid friggin' bird. Because it just invalidates every defensive piece I have. Other than, like, Smackdown Earthquake Modsdale, which is quite nice. But also, the main reason why we're having Registeel as a Rocker, while they have this amazing defensive piece, it's also going to hopefully be their demise. Because I'm taking a huge risk, and this is the biggest risk of them all. Like, I said that, like, team building was risky. I'm bringing, honestly, these two mons, like, do very similar things. Arrow doesn't really have a sweeping potential, it's just there to kind of revenge things. But this one is the biggest risk. I didn't want to do this, but I thought this is the best chance that this set can work. And if it works, we win the game on the spot. Weakness Policy Mew. I'm so scared about this. You have no idea. Simple plan. If it works, we win the game. If it doesn't work, this Mew doesn't do nearly as much as it could. Originally I was a Nasty Plot Mew, but I changed it because, like, Mega Houndoom just exists, honestly. We've got enough speed, so after an agility, we outspeed Scarf Chomp. Enough special attack. What was it for? I think it was for Fizz Death Corviknight, which I was more expecting because of Arrow. Guarantees at +2. We KO with Thunderbolt. With Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Agility. With the Weakness Policy. Other than the speed and the special attack for the +2 Corviknight, rest in HP. The idea is simple. Set up rocks, force Corviknight into Defog, bring in Mew, get hit by the Defog, get hit by a U-turn, Agility up, Weakness Policy up, and they have no switch-ins. Literally none. Alolan Ninetales that can come gets walled by Registeel. I don't know. I don't think it actually comes. Other than that, maybe AV Beware is like the best thing, but I'm max HP, and so it's gotta be pretty offensive with an AV to actually take it. And also, they're not going to go to it immediately because they don't know my moveset. I should have Psychic. I don't, but I should have Psychic. So, yeah. Any Tangrowth doesn't deal with it unless it's like max Spadef AV. In that case, like, what's it gonna do? I don't have an item, so I can't be knocked off. Toxic, like, fine. But, like, the hopeful goal here, like, obviously the goal is just win with Mew. 6-0 with Mew, game done, easy clap. But I don't think that will happen. Something's gonna live, I can just see it, but, like, Houndoom can't deal with it. That was the main thing. Like, like, get the agility up, and, like, Houndoom can't deal with this. Zero dies, Chomp dies, non-Spadef Corv dies, I think even, like, Spadef Slowking, like, takes way too much. Tangrowth, unless it's Spadef AV, dies. Houndoom dies, Articuno dies. Ninetales, I believe, lives, but not well. It takes, like, 80% from a T-Bolt or an Earth Power. Beware, same deal. I think it's got to be AV to actually live. I'd have to double check that calc. Stunfisk dies and Haunter dies. So, yeah. And again, they don't know that Beware is a safe switch. So, I'm really scared about this Mew. My playoff run is on the line, and this Mew is super risky. But there's at least enough things that I think I can get the weakness policy off on. Houndoom Dark Pulse is actually one. If they actually want to bring in Houndoom and just go for the Dark Pulse, like, that's fine, but they can Nasty Plot, so I don't want to risk that. Another main one is knockoff from, I think, mainly Tangrowth. I think Zera can actually knock off as well, but I don't know. I don't think I'd stay in on Zera. They'll be tempting for sure. But yeah, then, like, random knockoffs, and yeah. This is so scary, honestly, you have no idea. Because it relies on my opponent, I can't do something myself. And that also means I actually can't kill Corviknight. So, this means that this thing is less of a sweeper than I'd like it to be. But if we get that +2 off, the game is over. If we get the agility weakness policy off all in one turn, game is over. Game is done. Wrap it up. But I'm really scared about it. Me bringing setup Mews haven't really worked, but I'm hoping this one will do just enough. And at worst, like, the coverage really does a lot to their team, so I'm hoping that will be enough. So yeah, I'm really scared. The match is later today. And let's just hope we can get the dub, because I'm really worried. I'll see you guys in the battle. Alright. Craw, just let me know when they're ready. Let me just do. That's not what I meant to do. You just refresh just to make sure that I am online. Yeah, just to make sure I'm online. Sorry, I'm really out of it. I'm nervous for this. I'm tired. Not because I woke up, like, late. I just, like, haven't been able to sleep all day. So, yeah. Oh, dear. I'm not looking forward to this. I took so many risks with this team. I've got it all in the damage calc. I need to remember this. So. I don't know. I'm nervous. I am nervous for this, but let's do it. No Ninetales. They brought Stunfisk, they brought Articuno. Okay, I'm actually quite glad I have a Registeel then for Articuno. But that could have been an issue otherwise. I'm a little surprised they brought Articuno, I'm not gonna lie. They did bring the Houndoom. They brought, like, none of their defensive core. Which is actually kind of bad. What else is there not? There are no Ninetales, no Beware. Chomp seems like such a safe lead on their end now that I look at it. I'm gonna leave Registeel. They lead Houndoom. Alright, well, I've gotta go to I've gotta go to my dedicated check to this thing. They just taunt. Okay. They don't Mega, which is interesting. Just gonna flip turn. They put a Toxic on me. Interesting. But I do get to go to Arrow here. Dual Wing Beat should kill. Maybe get a bit of chip on the Corv. Well, let me do a calc. Okay, Mew versus Stunfisk. Oh my goodness, this does nothing. Stunfisk is so bulky. Am I really willing to pull that trigger? Yes. They go to Stunfisk. Okay, I don't like that. At all. I'm gonna go to Rotom. They'd go for T-Wave. Okay. That's good to know. That's really good to know. I set up Stealth Rocks. I don't really know what else they... I assume it's Dual Stab, right? So, like, what are they gonna do in here? Like, weirdly, I'm the one that has to default, because I kind of let this... I should have EQ'd. I expected Corviknight to come in. I'm just gonna overheat. That's kind of bad. Just gonna have to Volt Switch. They've got 3 ground immunities. Oh, sorry, 3 electric immunities. Which, yeah, that makes sense. And then they just switch to 0. Okay. Oh, they thought I was going to go to Vaporeon there. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see. I mean, in my eyes, they don't have a reason to... Like, they know I've got Will-O-Wisp, so I'm gonna Volt Switch. Why? They Grass Snot as I Volt Switch again. So they are special. And now they go to Houndoom. Because of course they do. They go to Stunfisk. At least makes sense. I can Pain Split here though. This is going badly. I kind of want to go to Mudsdale. How much would an Earth Power do for this thing? Mudsdale. There's like 25%. I'm gonna go to Mudsdale. You go for Endeavour. I do have Rest. It's not the end of the world here. I'm just gonna EQ. I'm not gonna take any risks here. Here we get. Okay, so we get the Stunfisk. So if we clear rocks, we can keep rocks off the field for the game. How much does Zera? There's a lot. If it's okay, they go to Houndoom. I wonder if they want a Toxic on me. That would make sense. I'm just gonna go Vaporeon. They Mega, they Fire Blast, they miss. Wouldn't have done that much. They actually don't have a Skull switching. Now that I look at it. So I'm just gonna go for Scald. They go to Corviknight. A burn on this thing would be really nice. No burns. I can Flip Turn. They U-turn. Perfectly reasonable. They go to Articuno. So I go to Registeel or I could go to Aero. Like, Aero just makes sense, right? Just go to Aero. And it's like, cool, I have an Aerodactyl, right? You don't stay in on an Aerodactyl. How much does my crunch do to this? So let's see. Aero. Put on Tough Claws before I forget. Versus Articuno. 83-94. It's actually a roll. I'm just gonna go for Defog. To get a Corv. I mean, makes sense, right? I'll go to Rotom. I don't like it. They Roost, okay. They would have to hard read a Pain Split here. Which I don't think they'd go for. They go to Zera, okay. So I gotta go to Registeel here. Registeel is great against this thing, even if it's got Aura Sphere. Even Focus Blast, I think I take 3 of. And we've almost set up our win condition. They give a Toxic, we set up Stealth Rocks. They Aura Sphere, it is 0. The win condition has officially been set up. Toxic as they go to Corviknight, we switch to Mew. With Agility. They U-turn! This should be it. This should be it. Go to Garchomp. I Ice Beam. I am faster than Scarf Jump. Down it goes. Zera, we have Earth Power. It shook her so it lives. Damn, I'm surprised they brought Shooker. Northern move would have killed anyway. They got a Corviknight. So I reveal my last move of T-Bolt. They are Fizz Def. Ice Beam is the safest move. We get the Earth Power. And we get the T-Bolt for the 6-0 win. Mew! Yes! Mew with the five kills. The only one it didn't get was on Stunfisk. Oh, I was so worried that wouldn't work, but Weakness Policy Mew, we got the win condition set up perfectly. Just Stunfisk had to go first, because Stunfisk actually would have stopped this. Well played to Craw. That was an incredibly quick match. It's the best sweep I've ever done, really. It's the only sweep I've ever really done. Of this kind of dominant fashion. A 6-0 there really puts us in good In fact, no, Geo has to play. Geo is the person ahead of us. If you want to look at standings for playoffs, because playoffs does matter now, like, really badly. We can see here, the playoffs. So, that puts us at 3-3 plus 8. Sam is the only person that has a chance of taking over us. They've got to... if they lose, or if they go... So what? They'd have to go... I think they'd have to get a 6-0 to be in playoff contention. They also have to win. Because if I lose and they win both of their games, then it doesn't matter about my differential. I'm out. We've got one more week. If we can win that last week, then we get the dub. We get to playoffs, which was a goal I didn't even think was possible in this league. But, yeah. I'm so happy this Mew set worked. I can't believe the Mew set worked. I called the special Zera as well. I said Stunfisk was very likely to come here. If it was going to come, it was here. I didn't think Articuno would come, to be honest. Maybe they thought they could get Calm Mind set up, and like Calm Mind Store Power stuff, just because I don't have a Dark type, but like... Mew set up too early. It wasn't a slow setup Mew. This one was immediate. I'm really happy it worked. So, but yeah, that is it. One more week to go. Well, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.